Good evening, friends and family of Love and the Scriptures. Good to have you here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Here on the day after Valentine's Day, I only highlight that, mention that because our discussion tonight is going to be about Black love, even though for the whole month I've said for us that this will be about the very same idea: love for Africa, love for African Americans. And maybe I didn't, but I'm going to throw this in too: love for African American history and studies, African American studies. Very interesting kind of development for us tonight, because in preparing for this discussion on Black love, I've actually discovered something that I did not know. But before we get to that, let me invite you to be thought partners and conversation partners. So your questions, your comments, concerns, complaints, contributions, and even compliments are more than welcome. And I would certainly appreciate if you liked and if you shared this with somebody that you think would be interested. Invite your friends by sharing and liking what we have going on in here. Um, Again, it's going to be a little interesting because new information is always interesting and exciting. And so for us, um, it'll be that kind of experience tonight. I say for us because I'm included in the newness of sharing on tonight. And of course, the idea and possibility of even sharing, as I share other thoughts about Black love, I think it might rub some of us very interestingly. And so to be able to hear from us in ways that some of the things we discuss, how it lands on you, how it falls on you, I think that's going to be that's going to be something interesting too. Let me start by talking about the love for Africa, the love for the continent itself. Of course, one of the big misconceptions, one of the things to be clearing up, and this is true for everybody in the world. I believe people all over the world, the misconception about Africa as a country. Africa, my loves, is a continent where there are 55 countries that make up the continent of Africa. Seemingly maybe kind of strange that I'm talking about love for Africa at the outset in the beginning. Not so, because like it or not, believe it or not, the world loves Africa and always has. Not for the right reasons and not in the right way, but the world has always loved Africa because of what she's been able to get from her. My shirt today that I'm wearing at school, I don't know how well we can see this. I'm going to come a little close, tell you what it says. It says, Africa has never needed the world. The world has always needed Africa. And what this graphic on my t-shirt shows is that how across the continent of Africa, it shows the places that natural resources are that have been pillaged and robbed and stolen and colonized from the motherland itself. And so the love for Africa by the world is in the fact that the world has found the natural resources that they need, and other countries that they need. They found them in Africa and have found a way to be able to by hook or crook get these resources out of Africa to make their countries whatever they are. And so there is a love for Africa that the world has because of these natural resources that exist here, that exist there. And what is so interesting, just for instance, the mining of gold that has happened in the northwest part of the United States of America, the California Gold Rush, the 49er Rush, and up in Alaska and all of those places, to a very significant degree, the mining in those places for gold, the natural resource of gold, almost nearly depleted. What is found there are just minuscule amounts of actual the mineral there, but the reserves of gold and all of the other natural resources of Africa. And I don't know how much we're able to see them, but there's diamonds, there's cotton, there's oil, there's petroleum, and petroleum products, crude oil, coffee, livestock, tea, copper, um, platinum, aluminum, uranium, rubber, aluminum, cocoa, fish, iron ore, um, clothes and textiles, phosphates, and so many other things that are minerals, natural minerals that are found on the continent that the world has a love affair with, because some of everything that the world does, some of everything that the world does, the resources to be able to operate and to build and perpetuate those things, the resource for that comes from Africa. So, um, in the gesture of what is being honest and being human, being truly human, for those countries, and I could name them, of course, and the United States is one of those, but for those countries who, by any means necessary, get these resources from the motherland, there ought to be some genuine love, not just the love for what you can get, what you have gotten, but the love for the place that has afforded your existence. Europe itself would not exist had it not been for what it has gotten from the continent of Africa, especially countries of France and Britain. They would not exist. And so the love for the country then ought to be there. Bishop Keith Vincent, my brother, grace and peace to you. So good to see you, my man. Thanks for joining us on tonight. Blessings on you. But that love for the motherland, for Africa, should then go, in my estimation, to the people as well. And I won't take the time to actually do this, do justice to this part of it, but to say that the people of Africa have made contributions to the world as well, in a way that the world should have a genuine love, a genuine respect for African people too. The internet by itself, the way we are now communicating, foundational technology for this medium that we are communicating by, Nigerian brother, responsible for those things. And the list is endless of how many things and how many ways the people of the continent, have contributed to the making of the world and what it is today. We just covered the last semester in our world history survey class, how things like mathematics and medicine, how things like Just so many things literally created on the continent of Africa. And so, as much as loving the resources that come from the country, but loving African people too. Next step, naturally, obviously, because of those who had been stolen from the shores of Africa and been made a diasporic people, spread across particularly the Western Hemisphere, but Africans that have come to these shores, especially North and South America, love for African Americans. This is Black History Month here, February, Black History Month. And the United States is not the only country who celebrates Black History Month. Let me give that to us too. Canada also celebrates Black History Month. Ireland also celebrates Black History Month. Germany and the Netherlands also celebrate Black History Month, and the United Kingdom celebrates Black History Month. In the United Kingdom, however, it's not February, it is October. The month of October is when the people of the United Kingdom, the UK, celebrate Black History Month. But because of the value of the people from the African or of the African diaspora, there should be a genuine love for African people as we have found ourselves and as we exist everywhere in the world, and especially the United States of America. This is the month of love. It's the month of Black love. And that's what we're talking about tonight. So if you're tuning in and you're wondering what in the world is he talking about, this is a discussion about Black love. That's what I'm talking about. Starting with the continent of Africa itself. It's what I said we deal with from the beginning of this month. It is love for Africa, love for Africans, love for African Americans. But we're going to talk about Black love too, relationship love. I'm going to give I'm moving to that in just a couple of minutes, the relationship aspect of love. And I have to introduce it, though, in terms of this segue, because I did not know until I was preparing for this presentation, this show tonight, that there is a holiday, a thing called Black Love Day. Yes, you heard me right. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. February 13th in the year 1993, a brother by the name of Ayo Handyman Kinde designed the day prior to Valentine's Day to be a day for Black people, for African American people, to demonstrate love. Hey there, Nikki. How are you? So good to have you on here with us. But Brother Kinde designed February 13th, Black Love Day, to demonstrate love first towards the Creator. Secondly, Black love towards self. Thirdly, Black love towards family. Next, Black love towards the Black community. And then in the broader sense, Black love towards the Black race. And look at how he sets this up, not in a vacuum, not in an individualistic sense, just focusing on one aspect of love or one relationship of love. Brother Kinde understood that with what Black people are facing and what we have experienced and what we suffer from and suffer through, that love in the Black community, love for Black people has to have a holistic aspect. It has to have a holistic view. And in his wise estimation, he recognizes that it first has to start with love towards God, love for God, Creator, he calls it. But for me, that's God, love for God. Thank you. That's good, Nikki. Yes, please like and share. Yes, do that. And so it begins with love for God, because in the terms of a biblical worldview, Love doesn't just start with God in any haphazard sense. It starts with God because God is love. God does not give love. The epistle writer James says it's who God is, it's what God is, so that his very nature is that. And so when God is loving, God is just being who God is. He's being himself, not giving love, not having it, but God is love. And so when Brother Kendi designs this holiday of Black love, he says it's first towards God and then towards self. What's the idea with Black love towards self? You can't love anybody else fully, really, totally, completely, unless there is a healthy, holistic love that you have within. That doesn't mean you can't love anybody at all. Absolutely not. But the love that you have and give is only in proportion to how healthy the love is that you have for yourself. Sister Sandra Art, it's so good to see you there. Yes, God is love. Blessings on you. Thanks for joining us. And so then, the love for God and then the self-love. And from that, Kendi says that it's love for your family. Um, I had a wonderful experience this morning. We have a family chat that, as most people do with their families, and in our family chat this morning, just out of the blue, there comes, and I'm gonna put him out there too. My youngest brother put a love expression. I love all y'all, which is rare. If you all know my youngest brother, you'll know what that was like for me to see that and read that in there. And so he reads that. Tone Rando, hey, how you doing? So good to see you. Um, so to see my youngest brother to put that in there, and then the responses to him after he says that he loves all of us, and it just warmed my heart so well to see that family love expression take place with my family this morning. Kendi says then, and so in terms of Black love as a holiday, as a theme, as a thing, he says it's God first, it's self-love second, and then it's love for your family. But that love then extends to the community, he says, and to Black people. So I never knew that there was a Black Love Day. How many of you all right, way to go, Brother Kenny. Somebody know my brother on there. Thanks for that response. How many of you, see, you all tell me, shout back to me, how many you ever knew that there was a Black Love February 13th since 1993 was a thing, Black Love Day? Somebody tell me if you knew that. What'd you think about that? And so with that, again, he says the last two elements is love for community. It is love for family. Uh, it's new to me. All right. So I'm not the only one that is. Okay. So good, Sister Sandra. Thank you for admitting that. Let me, if I can, sisters and brothers, suggest to you what I think has been one of the greatest expressions and demonstrations of Black love in these modern times. All right, you didn't know it either. Okay, so I'm introducing new concepts to you, or sharing new concepts that's new to me too, because I just learned it in preparation for this discussion, this talk tonight. But for my mind, and I'm a history teacher, so I search this stuff. I look this stuff. The greatest expression and demonstration of Black love that I believe has existed in modern times, and you can thank you. All right, Bishop. All right, new to you too. You can tell me what your opinion is, what you think about this. That the governance for me did not do it because it did not reach us. I don't think the policies nor the programs that were presented and put forth had any real meaning to us. But I think not even the fact that he was elected president and twice meant as much nor demonstrated anything greater than the Black love that Barack and Michelle Obama demonstrated to the world as they were the first family of the United States of America. The images, the pictures that you saw of them, not in a public fair and not when all of the cameras rolling, but the elevator scene where they are there in a wonderful embrace. But the bus scene where they are sitting there in their private, intimate moments, those kind of capturings that you saw a genuine and a beautiful Black love, to me, has been the greatest demonstration of Black love in our modern times. And I believe more than anything that he did politically, the way he loved his wife and his family in front of us, I personally believe is the greatest thing about him having been the president of the United States. You may take a different opinion, sure. And this isn't a political discussion. This is about love. Thank you, Bishop. Thank you, Nikki. This isn't about politics. I'm talking about the meaning and impact of what Barack Hussein Obama did while he was in office. I'm not going with the policies. I'm not going with the governance. I think that image that he showed of Black people, where we have been demonized, where we have been criminalized, where we have been made to look like monsters in front of the world by media for as long as there has been media. But that Black man, African American man, and that Black woman, that African American woman, as they presented the dignity, the grace, and the beauty of love, the best demonstration for African American people. But that's been the best thing for the world to see about Black people too. That's my opinion on that. We got a comment there. Americans finally saw our real, yes, our reality versus our broken family net. That's the point I'm making, Nikki. You get it perfectly. Yes, yes, yes. There was a wholeness. There was a purity and a beauty in that. Again, it was one image, but it was for 8 years, and it stood against the backdrop of all the broken images of what Black love and Black family was about. That, to me, was the greatest demonstration for us of what Black love is and is about. Let me tell you what else I think has been very important and meaningful. And I just stumbled up on this. I actually posted on Facebook about it a couple of years ago when I first saw it on the OWN network, Oprah Winfrey Network. Y'all tell me how many of y'all have seen that. She had a series on there that she called Priceless. Very good. Thank you. That literally is called Black Love. And in this series, what it did, let me see, it included extended family. Yes, her mother, exactly. Just the way our families are constructed. Yes, Sister Sandra. It included Sister Robinson's, Michelle's mother, in that as well, because she was the care, literally moved into the White House and was the caretaker of those children. One of the most whole, complete, and beautiful images of what Black family, Black love is. Thank you for that aspect too. I appreciate you adding that. Very true. But the series from the Oprah Winfrey Network, Black Love, have any of y'all seen that? Where they have these couples on there, married for varying amounts of time. Some of them just a couple of years, just a few years. Some of them been married a long time. And they are interviewed and talk about all kinds of aspects of what their relationships have been about. The name of the series again is Black Love. When I first came across that thing, I don't remember channel surfing, of course, is what it was, but it's whatever it was that made me stop when I saw it. I literally sat there and binge watched that show, Black Love, because I saw some of the most transparent and the realest and the adjectives to describe it just escaped me. But I think the show, again, was an extremely important show when it comes to the discussion of Black families, to Black marriages, and Black love itself, because they didn't pull any punches, either the interviewers and the questions that they asked, and neither the respondent, the couples, in their responses to these questions. It literally blessed my soul. It did me, even as a single man, it did my heart glad to be able to see again these healthy. And now, when I'm talking about healthy, I ain't talking about not having no problem, because they talked about all kinds of issues that they had, but they talked about how they committed to each other and they worked through the issues that they have. And so it comes then in the show, an image of love that actually conquers, an image of Black love that overcomes. And it did me so good to see that. If you all have not seen Black Love on the Oprah Winfrey Network, and I just found however many seasons it is, I just was able to find them and have gone back and watching them again. Let me recommend it to you, ma'am. Let me recommend it to you, sir. Whether you're single, married, separated, divorced, whatever stage or state you are in relationship, I'm going to recommend the show Black Love on the Oprah Winfrey Network. I highly commend it to you. It's a way to be able, again, to see what Sister Nikki pointed out, that all of our life and love is not fractured. Okay, that there is some wholeness in Black love, that there is some goodness in Black love, that there is even, and this is one of the ways that I think it's really helpful for our community, that there is even some there is some help, some guidance for other couples in that show Black Love. All right, their solidarity emboldened their fortitude. All right, come on now, Nikki, to withstand and overcome their obstacles together. Amen, amen, amen. I couldn't say that better myself. I could not have said that better myself. Thank you for that. And let me, because I got about a minute left, I think I may want to say just another word about this on next week, about Black love, just to put a cap on where we are. But what I want to do for those, anybody who has not seen Black Love, let me suggest homework. Check out a couple of episodes of that. And secondly, go back through some of those photos. Find some of those photos of Barack and Michelle Obama, President and former First Lady Barack and Michelle Obama, and see what I'm talking about in the way that they presented Black love. Now, I also have to next week, because I said this is the way I was gonna outline it. I have to answer some of the questions that came up. We did it. Oh, so Love and Stuff, the network that we're on, actually did a show on Black love yesterday and used some of the couples that are a part of this community. And that is recorded, so you all can go back and watch the show from yesterday about Black love right here on this network, on the Love and Stuff network. You can watch that. But we will have, let me see, love God first, amen, self-love, family, and community. Yes, that is it. That is it. And this is from Brother A.O. Handy Kendi, who created Black Love Day in 1993. That was his outline, Sister Sandra, for that. Yes. Watch. Yes, that is your homework. Episode of Black Love, and see those pictures of Barack and Michelle Obama. And I will have to answer some of the questions that were put for the first week of February. And so we'll split some of this time putting a cap on Black love, and then I'll answer some of the other questions that came to us the first week of this month. Thank you so much, all of you, my wonderful friends who signed in on us today. Next week, Sunday, 6:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Love in the Scriptures. We love to see you there. God bless you. Have a good night.